Well, the Eagles could have two rising candidates at offensive coordinator. We have news on compensatory picks and a couple what if situations that could really intrigue the Eagles, and this could go in the right direction.
We better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep this thing going. A lot of news going around with the Philadelphia Eagles and with with Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni's press conference tomorrow. Hopefully more news on certain situations. I don't think we're gonna get too much news from them. A lot of PR statements, but we have news on compensatory picks. We have news on potential OC candidates. Okay, or defensive coordinators that have connections to OCs that maybe some of these DCs will bring some of their coaching staff they really liked on this team as well, and maybe the Eagles will have some trust in the thoughts of others that get hired on this team. Now, there's been a lot of rumors going on with Arthur Smith that really has nothing's really been going on with him. His stint with the Falcons as a head coach has not worked out at all. It's been almost, has really spiraled down in a lot of cases. But there is rumors that over 7 or 8 teams have been looking at Arthur Smith as potential offensive coordinator candidate, and it wouldn't shock me if the Philadelphia Eagles are one of those candidates as of right now. Now, 2019 and 2020, when Arthur Smith was the Titans OC, they were top in passing touchdowns and rushing yards as well. So I want to go over those statistics really quick. So 2019 for Arthur Smith, Titans were third in total touchdowns with 52, trailing by the Ravens and 49ers. Titans were 21st in total passing yards, but had 29 passing touchdowns to just 8 interceptions. Third best passer rating, 108.3, and highest yards per attempt, 8.8. Titans were third in total rushing yards, tied for second in yards per carry, 5.0, and tied for second in rushing touchdowns, 21. And now in 2020, Titans were second in total touchdowns with 61, trailing by the Packers. Titans were 23rd in total passing yards, but had 33 passing touchdowns to just 7 interceptions. Fifth best passer rating, 105.9, and tied with the Chiefs for fifth highest yards per attempt, 7.9. The Titans were second in total rushing yards, second in yards per carry, 5.2 yards per carry, and second in rushing touchdowns, 26. So it seems like a nice balance from those 2 years from Arthur Smith for what we were seeing, those 2 years, and really hasn't done much since then. Maybe sometimes these head coaches that go back to what they do best could, potentially be something great. So the Eagles have not had an official offensive coordinator interview. Jim Bob Cooter was a rumor. Arthur Smith now is a rumor. Frank Reich is a rumor. So, I mean, those are really the only 3 names that I've seen so far that realistically are just rumors and, not even phone calls, just rumors in general with no interviews. So, interested to see. I think they're taking their sweet time with the offensive coordinator spot. Defensive coordinator, I'm starting to see that they are trying to get a veteran presence in there or a really good young defensive mind in there where, Ron Rivera seems like the likely favorite. I don't know. I know a lot of fans are saying he hasn't done anything with Washington, but he didn't coach the Washington defense for 3.5 years when, Jack Del Rio was there. So at this point, I mean, there was other news that came out when I was streaming last night. Somebody talked about that the Rivera family and the Lurie family are very close. Apparently their families go out to dinner. They're very close. So this is what Lurie said on Rivera in 2020. He says, he's a family member of ours. Stephanie and my wife play golf together. Ron is somebody I really respect. He's a high quality person in every sense of the word. So that was interesting. There was a lot more news that came out of it too, that both families are very, very close. And like I said, this isn't like, I don't care if that's the case. But at least there is there is a past, obviously. I mean, Rivera was a coach here as well for a few years, so I understand that. What if Ron Rivera comes in as the DC and says, "Hey, to help you guys out, I think there's an OC that really would, benefit the offense." And okay, and that would be Eric Bieniemy. Well, see what he did in Kansas City, how creative he was between the run attack, the wide receivers, the motion, just all the different types of different plays that he does do over there. Is a really great offensive mind, a guy that takes a lot of pride into his own scheme, and I think that's what we need. And not saying that this would happen, but I haven't heard any reports of Eric Bieniemy moving on from Washington. But I think this would be a great move. I mean, if you can get Ron Rivera in, and I take a chance on him. I've said this a couple times already because I don't know. I'm only looking at the names they've been interested in. I'm not really looking at whoever's not been came up in news for the Eagles regarding defensive coordinators. But when it comes to OC, if Ron Rivera is hired, highly likely, maybe, could bring in his counterpart to say, hey, I think Eric B will do good in Philadelphia. He'll be here for a few years and really turn this offense around. And I think having the offense the way it is right now, besides like, Kelsey's, questionable retirement, which I think he's coming back, some OC is going to look at this offense and say, "Holy shit, man! Like I think I could coach this. Look at the weapons on this team. I think they just need a running back. They need, a wide receiver three, a backup right tackle. I mean, there's only a few things they need. Man, I could really turn that offense. I'm going to make Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. I'm going to make Jalen Hurts the best quarterback I can make. I mean, there's probably OCs out there that are dying to coach this offense, but it comes down to how much control they're going to have. I think defensively, we could say that they want a guy that's going to come right in and with their own scheme. Offensively, it just doesn't seem like Nick is going to have much control over anything. So we'll see what happens with that. But Eric B, to me, would be a no-brainer at this point. Now, lastly, I want to go over the comp picks for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles, pretty good right now. They're going to receive 4 compensatory picks in the 2024 NFL Draft. So they get a 3rd-round pick for Javon Hargrave, a 5th-rounder for Isaac Samalo, a 5th-rounder for Andre Dillard, and a 5th-round pick for TJ Edwards, okay? So, I mean, potentially, I don't know what all the picks. They got 1 first, 2 seconds, probably have 2/3 at this point, probably have like 4/5 or 5/5 at this point. I don't know. But the more ammo that Howie Roseman has, this could get, sweeten the deal with trades to be done. You can move up in the draft easily with picks like this. To have more picks like that is going to be great. So once I get all the picks together, we'll kind of go through everything when it comes to the draft and, how many picks that the Eagles are going to have. But it's going to be a good amount. We went into, obviously, this season knowing they're going to have these picks, the compensatory picks plus the picks that they have to say that, they have to hit on this draft, no doubt. The philosophy has to change now with whatever happened this year, with the coaching staff failing the roster and the roster really failing itself. You have to put more priority into other positions, since safety, linebacker 100%, backup right tackle, maybe another edge rusher, a wide receiver 3. You're going to need a punter if Braden Mann's not re-signed. So there's a lot going on there. So I think this is the start of, the process. And, you're going to have over $40 million with Kevin Byard probably being cut. Most likely, re-signed or cut, extended, whatever. I think he's going to get cut. They free up $13 million. You use some of that money at least on one position when it comes to linebacker or safety. You pay somebody. I think that's what they should do, and then they go the total opposite in the draft and get, you fill in that spot in free agency to go in the draft and get the other spot. And I think that's what they're going to do. As of right now. So we still have a little bit till free agency month in March, but the Eagles will have pretty good cap, and I think they'll have more cap if they trade Bradbury, if they they trade Avonte Max, which is highly likely at this point. Okay, get more cap, get more, and open some roster spots up, and open some things up for some newcomers in the building, and really build this thing right. And like I said, you got to change the philosophy of how you draft. I want to see who they hire first to know like the scheme of what we're going to get. But we'll see what happens. It all comes together at the end of the year. But like I said, the drafting process has definitely got to change because there are glaring holes that really finally we got to start picking our asses up now at these positions. So we can't sign these 1-year deals and then all these players leave. It's annoying at this point, so, we'll see what happens. But we know that Howie loves playing the compensatory pick game. We know that's just how he is. And we'll see what happens. So, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We learned compensatory picks, Arthur Smith, Rivera, his connections to the Eagles, obviously, and Jeffrey Lurie, which could be a high possibility, and Eric Bieniemy coming to the Philadelphia Eagles on a support from Ron Rivera if he is hired, a high possibility as well. No OCs have had official interviews yet. 2 are going to be for that defensive coordinator from Mike Caldwell from the Jags, and obviously you have Ron Rivera on an official interview too. So definitely excited and see where this team is going to go, and I think we got the right people fired. Nick, questionable of what his role is going to be. If he has no control, if he doesn't have his hands on everything, is going to be another interesting point to the year, to the offseason at least. And we'll see. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.